but I think Manny, at this stage, can rise to that challenge and win the fight.
For star.
I would think probably Manny Pacquiao.
He's 46 years old and has fought and beaten more world champions than most boxers even dare to dream about. With the world watching and his legacy already carved deep into the history books, Manny Pacquiao is stepping back into the ring, chasing one last night of glory. But not everyone sees this as a fairy tale comeback. When Bob Arum speaks, the boxing world pays attention, and his latest comments on Pacquiao's return have stirred a mix of excitement, concern, and heartbreak among fans. This isn't just another retired legend looking for a final paycheck. This is a man who spent decades at war in the ring, walked away on top, and is now flirting with danger by coming back. Arum, Pacquiao's former promoter and the man who helped shape his rise to global superstardom, isn't pulling punches with his opinion. Tonight, we unpack the buzz, the emotions, and the chilling warning issued by one of boxing's last great titans.
And with movement, I think a win by the number of punches that he throws.
Manny Pacquiao's return isn't just another retired fighter testing the waters. It's a chance to rewrite boxing history. If he pulls this off, he won't just become the oldest welterweight champion in history. He'll prove that time doesn't conquer every legend. Unlike typical comebacks driven by ego or easy paydays, this one feels different. Pacquiao isn't stepping into a soft exhibition in a far-off arena. He's entering a sanctioned, high-stakes war against Mario Barrios, a reigning WBC world champion who's younger, faster, and riding a wave of momentum. Amid the excitement and doubts, one voice has emerged: Bob Arum, the legendary promoter who helped shape Pacquiao's rise to global stardom. Arum isn't simply offering support or criticism. He's speaking with the seasoned authority of someone who's seen firsthand what happens when even the greatest push too far. This isn't just about a fight. It's a confrontation between legacy and reality, between nostalgia and consequence. And when someone like Arum breaks the silence, it's a signal that the stakes are far greater than just a belt. This is history in motion. And in its shadow, the possibility of triumph, heartbreak, or even tragedy looms large. It didn't begin with a flashy press conference or a headline-grabbing announcement. It began quietly, personally. A subtle shift in how Manny Pacquiao carried himself after retiring in 2021. As if the ring had never truly let him go. As if every punch, every round still echoed in his bones, calling him back, not for money, not for fame, but for something deeper, something unfinished. While the world watched him hang up his gloves and step into the world of politics, aiming to build a new kind of legacy for his country, those who looked closely could still see the fighter behind the speeches, the rhythm in his movements, the fire that never quite faded. Even when the world thought his story had ended, Pacquiao was quietly writing new pages. He kept training, at first in shadows, then more intensely, sparring, conditioning, moving like a man with something to prove, not to fans or critics, but to himself, to the warrior that never stopped living inside him. By the time whispers of a return surfaced in late 2023, they didn't feel far-fetched. They felt possible. They felt real. And now, with Freddie Roach once again by his side, training footage shows blistering hand speed, sharp footwork, and a body that looks a decade younger than his age. This isn't nostalgia. This isn't spectacle. This is a real fight. Against a real champion. Whether you call it bravery or recklessness depends on your view. But one thing is undeniable. The comeback is no longer speculation. It's a countdown. And when Bob Arum speaks, knowing exactly what's at stake, the boxing world listens. Because this isn't just a return. It's the beginning of one last, possibly greatest chapter. Mario Barrios isn't a warm-up. He's not a carefully selected opponent brought in to make Manny Pacquiao's return look good. He's the reigning WBC welterweight champion, dangerous, disciplined, and hardened by real battles. Barrios knows how to survive pressure, absorb power, and return fire with the precision of a fighter sharpened by youth, hunger, and momentum He's not just younger than Pacquiao. He represents a new generation, one that grew up watching Manny, learning from him, admiring him. But now, Barrios enters the ring not as a fan or a student, but as a man with a real chance to end the legend story for good. This isn't the kind of fighter Pacquiao used to overwhelm with speed and angles. Barrios is rangy, smart, deceptively powerful, and built for today's fast-paced, data-driven fight game. He may not have Pacquiao's legacy, but he has youth, stamina, and a chance to carve his name into boxing history by stopping an icon. Some see Barrios as a safer opponent for Pacquiao's return, but that misses the truth. When you're 45, coming out of retirement and stepping into the ring with a champion in his prime, there's no such thing as a safe fight. Not anymore.
Miss making pace. Big right down and miss, and there was no reaction after that.
Bob Arum has seen it all. Wars inside the ropes, legends forged in fire, and kings dethroned in the blink of a round. So when he speaks about Manny Pacquiao, it's not just as a seasoned promoter or businessman. It's as someone who walked the long road with Manny, who helped sculpt the legend from scratch. Arum was there through it all. The meteoric rise, the global tours, the blood-soaked triumphs, and the crushing defeats. Few people on earth understand what this comeback truly means, and even fewer understand what it risks. When Arum broke his silence about Pacquiao's return, his words weren't harsh or bitter. They carried the weight of someone who's both proud and worried. Like a mentor watching a beloved fighter step back into a storm he may no longer be built to weather. Arum wished him well, sincerely. But beneath that sentiment was something far more sobering. A quiet warning, clear to those who know how to listen. He praised Pacquiao's speed, his sharpness in training, the power still crackling through the pads. But Arum also drew the line between gym and war. Sparring, he reminded us, is not a fight. Muscle memory and fast hands under controlled conditions don't guarantee survival under the bright lights and brutal pace of real combat. He's seen it before, too many times. The moments where greatness is just one reflex too slow, where one punch rewrites legacies or ends careers. He dismissed rumors of an Amir Khan fight, cutting through speculation to confirm what really matters. The fight against Mario Barrios is set, and it's real. By doing so, Arum separated headline fantasy from hard truth. The boxing world loves a comeback tale, loves nostalgia, but Arum reminded us that the ring doesn't care about sentiment. It only respects timing, preparation, and youth. And even then, only barely. Arum isn't questioning Pacquiao's heart. He never would. What he's questioning is the necessity, the motivation, the wisdom. Because when you're 45 and stepping back in against a dangerous, younger champion, even the smallest misstep can ripple forever. He's seen it with too many fighters who waited one fight too long, who believed they had one more round in them, until reality proved otherwise. And perhaps most telling of all, Arum didn't tell Pacquiao not to fight. He knows Manny wouldn't listen. But by speaking publicly, with admiration, concern, and hard-earned perspective, he gave the boxing world something more powerful. A mirror. A mirror reflecting a hero chasing one last blaze of glory, and a sport still unsure how to protect its icons from themselves. In that reflection, Arum sees history threatening to repeat itself. And maybe, just maybe, he hopes someone hears the warning before the bell.
Up in that age, you can't keep taking punches to the head without it affecting you as you get older. I mean, I really I'm worried as far as Manny is concerned.
Every comeback carries a cost. But when it's someone like Manny Pacquiao, the stakes aren't just physical, they're existential. He's already achieved everything. 8 world titles across 8 divisions, global fame, and a legacy etched in boxing history. So the question isn't merely whether he can win again. It's whether the reward is truly worth the risk. And more importantly, what he stands to lose if things go wrong in a way no one dares to say out loud. The truth is, Pacquiao's body isn't 25 anymore. The hands are still fast, the footwork still sharp, and the discipline as intense as ever. But there's a vast difference between looking good in training and taking clean shots from a world-class fighter without consequences. Especially at 46. Because the damage at that age doesn't always show up right away. It lingers. Long after the lights fade and the cheers die down. If he wins, it would be monumental. A 46-year-old former champion toppling a reigning WBC title holder would redefine what's possible in boxing, placing Pacquiao in the rare company of late-career legends like Bernard Hopkins and George Foreman, men whose final chapters became their most iconic. But if he loses, especially if it's not just a decision loss, but a brutal, decisive one, it won't just mark the end of a fight. It could reshape how his entire career is remembered. Fans and pundits may begin to question why a man who had already cemented his greatness chose to come back and risk it all for one more night. Bob Arum understands this duality better than most. He's watched fighters win their final wars and ascend to mythic status, and he's watched others carried out under the lights, dazed, broken, and changed forever. Not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. That's the true risk Pacquiao now faces. Not just a defeat, but a loss that rewrites his ending. From a lion who walked away on his own terms to a warrior who stayed one round too long. Legacy is fragile. You can build it over decades, and see it cracked in minutes. Yet that's exactly what draws legends back. Because for someone like Pacquiao, greatness isn't about playing it safe. It's about walking the edge, and daring to see if you can still survive the dance without falling.
Manny, at this stage, can rise to that challenge and win the fight. I think he has.
As soon as Manny Pacquiao's comeback shifted from rumor to reality, the boxing world lit up, divided, passionate, and loud. On one side, waves of nostalgia surged as lifelong fans rejoiced. For them, Pacquiao's return isn't just another fight. It's a chance to extend greatness, to witness history rewritten by the one man who's defied time before. Training footage only fueled the excitement. Flashes of vintage speed, sharp footwork, and that unmistakable warrior spirit. A growing chorus of caution is rising, composed of former champions, seasoned trainers, boxing analysts, and even young fighters who once idolized Pacquiao. They're all asking the same difficult question. Is this truly about glory, or is it about struggling to let go? Even the son of Mike Tyson voiced concern, warning this could mirror a painful pattern, where one comeback too many turns a fairy tale ending into a cautionary tale. Legendary boxer Sugar Ray Leonard added his voice with quiet concern, emphasizing a critical truth. There's a big difference between looking sharp in training and being ready to take real punishment in the ring, especially after years of inactivity. The split is clear. Adoration versus apprehension. And as fight night approaches, so does the question that shadows every comeback. Is this history in the making, or a mistake waiting to happen?
Manny, just any advice from him at all?
Just be healthy and do what you think you can. It's a hard thing to.
Manny Pacquiao's he's a legend, you know. He's a legend. I think he can do it. Absolutely. I mean, it's not going to be.
Online, the debate is intense. Some celebrate the return of a legend, while others point to the long list of greats who couldn't outrun time. With Bob Arum now weighing in, his words filled with both pride and concern, the fight has taken on a deeper significance. It's no longer just about a title or a comeback. It's about the true cost of legacy, and how far Manny Pacquiao is willing to go to protect it, or gamble it all in front of the world. Intro 9. With the fight now officially set for July 19th in Las Vegas, the countdown has begun. Not just to another date on the boxing calendar, but to a moment that feels far larger than belts, rankings, or paydays. This is Manny Pacquiao stepping back under the bright lights, into the pressure, and toward a future that could either solidify his legendary status or shake its foundation before millions of watching eyes. The build-up is already buzzing with familiar energy. Training montages from Wild Card Gym, slow-motion pad work with Freddie Roach, glimpses of intense sparring sessions, and media sound bites feeding the hype machine. But behind the familiar rhythm lies a different kind of tension, because this isn't the same young Pacquiao charging toward the ring with nothing to lose. This time, there's more weight, more memory, more at stake. It feels like a story circling back on itself. The urgency of his past, seen in fights against De La Hoya and Thurman, is here again, but now layered with years of wear and the weight of legacy. Every move is being scrutinized not just for flashes of brilliance, but for signs of vulnerability. Bob Arum's recent comments have only added depth to the unfolding drama. His words don't just serve as sound bites from a former promoter. They carry emotional resonance from a man who helped shape Pacquiao's journey and is now watching it continue without him, torn between pride and concern. His reflections will echo through press conferences, media week interviews, and pre-fight coverage. Because this fight isn't just about whether Manny Pacquiao can still win, it's about whether he still belongs in the ring. And when that first bell rings, all the speculation will fall silent. Only the truth, waiting in the center of the ring, will remain. This isn't just a fight. It's a statement, a flashpoint, a test of what boxing still permits its legends to pursue and what the sport demands from those unwilling to fade quietly. Manny Pacquiao, stepping back into the spotlight at 46, isn't just trying to prove he can still move, still punch, still win. He's testing whether greatness can be truly timeless, or whether the cost of chasing it has become too steep, even for the best. If Pacquiao manages to defeat a reigning world champion after nearly 4 years away, the message will echo far beyond the ring. It will challenge everything we believe about aging in sports. It will say that hunger doesn't have to die just because the spotlight dims. It will stretch the boundaries of what's possible at the edge of a storied career. But if the night turns brutal, if the gamble outweighs the glory, then this becomes something else, a cautionary tale. A stark reminder that boxing isn't a museum for legends. It's a ruthless arena that asks for everything, even from those who've already given their all. Whatever happens on July 19th will ripple far beyond Pacquiao's own story. It will shape future comebacks, matchmaking, and how pride is balanced against legacy. Because this fight isn't just about whether Manny can fight. It's about what boxing allows its icons to become.
Furious assault.
And here we are, less than a month away from what could become one of the most unforgettable and unpredictable nights in modern boxing. A living legend, Manny Pacquiao, is stepping back into the fire. Not for money, not for fame, but because something deep inside him refuses to believe the fight is over. Bob Arum watches from a distance, part hopeful, part haunted. We're all left wondering what kind of ending this story will write. Will it be a final blaze of glory, the kind that cements Pacquiao's name with the greatest comebacks in sports history? Or will it serve as a hard lesson in knowing when to let go? Either way, the countdown is on. This isn't just another fight. It's a moment that could redefine what it means to be a legend. So hit